Hey, welcome to Playing for Keeps, the show where we take a deep dive into emotional intelligence, sex, love, adult attachment theory, mental health, therapy, and everything in between that creates great relationships. Your host, DJ, is a certified life coach and emotional intelligence practitioner. She's here to be of service to all the listeners interested in love and relationship. Now, here's your host, DJ.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl DJ with Plan for Keeps podcast, and today I have Dee. She is the owner of the Feminine Boutique. She is an expert in feminine and masculine energy relationships. She teaches women how to tap into their feminine energy, attracts love, and save their relationships. And today she is here to speak about polarity, masculine and feminine energy, breakups, and attracting love. Hey, Tasha, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well today. No complaints at all. So let's kind of just dive in and get into it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and just a little bit about, masculine and feminine energy.
Okay. As you know, I am a feminine energy relationship coach. I teach women how to tap into their feminine energy more, how to awaken their feminine energy. I teach women how to attract love using their feminine energy. I teach women how to save their relationships using their feminine energy. And how I got started, it was not an easy road. I was stuck in my masculine energy for years, okay? My relationships would start off good, and then it was like I would self-sabotage my relationships. And I couldn't figure out what was happening, okay? I was what you could call an alpha woman, so I went after the things that I wanted the most, and even when it came to love. And what actually drove me on this journey was my boyfriend, my current boyfriend. At the time, I was seeing him, and I was just all over the place. I was pursuing him. I was chasing him. And I noticed there was a pattern. I realized they kind of, came into my relationships as well, which you could call baggage.
Okay.
And at the time I was like, how do I save this relationship? I was looking all over the place. How do I save this relationship? And I had gotten in touch with a very popular relationship coach, which I was doing coaching with her as well. And she introduced me to a concept about masculine and feminine energy, polarity. And it wasn't easy. I would slip a lot of times, but I kept getting up and I kept practicing. And it was really learning how to just be, realizing that as women, we don't have to do anything to get love or attention from men. You just have to work on your baggage, heal your inner wounds, and just be, just learn how to be feminine and do nothing but relax in that feminine energy and allow the man or the men that's interested in you to pursue you. And if you're interested in them, you be open and you be receptive. And so when I learned about how to lean back and be feminine, like I said, I slipped a couple of times, but I kept getting up and practicing. Okay. And once I really started practicing, the correct way, my relationship was healed. It was put back together. I'm in the most healthiest relationship I've ever been in, and it feels amazing. And so I was doing coaching with Katarina, okay. And I had a lot of women come up to me and say, oh, the advice you gave me, it's helped me tremendously in my relationships. And so I wanted to branch off and do my own thing. I have grown so much from working with her, and I appreciate, you know, all the information she shared with me and, you know, growing. But, you know, I like to help women, and I have so much compassion for the women and their stories, because I can totally relate to where they come from.
Yeah.
And so I said, this is my mission, you know, to help women heal as well, and to you know, attract love, you know, and to be in a very healthy relationship where, you know, it could be peaceful. You know, you don't have to have arguments all the time. You know, you could just relax, you know, and allow the man to lead, and for him to be in his masculine energy. And all you have to do, you know, as a feminine woman, is just respond to it and show gratitude for his efforts.
Got you. Now, the internet went out, I think, a little bit why I didn't hear you. So if you already said this, I apologize. Let me ask you this. So for an alpha woman or somebody who operates more in their masculine energy, what advice could you give to help them lean back more into their feminine energy? I know you were giving some examples in your own personal story and the internet went out.
Okay. You know, like I said, I am considered, I guess, what they call an alpha woman. I was always a go-getter. Okay. So I get that. It's all about balance. Okay. Men and women both have, you know, both energies. Okay. If you have to use your masculine energy, I suggest women to learn how to do it more in the workplace, or if you're running your own business, or, you know, if you're a single mom, you know, you have to get things going, and, you know, around the house and for the kids and things like that. Okay. Doing things, maybe you don't have a male around and you need to do things around your home and stuff like that, because masculine energy is all about doing.
Right. And break down what the feminine energy means, because I think that's where the confusion comes from, because I know a lot of women will say that you're I can't even think of the word right now, but you know, they'll think that you're just super old fashioned for believing in masculine and feminine energy. But I remember in a previous conversation, we were speaking on even manifestation. Even if you believe in the law of attraction, then you have to believe in masculine and feminine energy, because it all relates. Because with the feminine energy, it's more of the creation part, right? Like laying back, meditating, and letting things come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the masculine is more of the doing part. Mm-hmm. So it's in everything that we do, right? Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that. Definitely.
Okay. And then I can also definitely agree with the points that you were making before, because in my own personal life, in my own personal life in the workspace, I'm somebody who's a doer with work and everything else to achieve things. And then I would bring that energy into my relationships. And at the end of the day, I ended up sabotaging my own relationships, because I didn't let the man be the man per se, or I nagged him so much I don't want to say to be the man, but nagged him so much to the point where it kind of drove him away, and I didn't allow him to be that man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was saying I definitely can agree with you even on that too. As far as, so you said you wanted to talk also about breakups and attracting love. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Off that vibe, it was like I became needy and desperate, and that's not what a high value feminine energy woman does. Okay. She sits in her feminine energy. She knows that she's enough. Okay. You might not be for everybody, and that's fine. But the men that are attracted to you, you really don't have to do anything. They'll pursue you. Okay. Like I said, all you have to do is just respond. And when you respond, you let him know that you are, you know, appreciating his efforts and that you're open to him. Okay. When we take over their role, they could, you know, be interested in us. But when we take over the role, it becomes a turnoff. Okay. It's in a
Agreed.
man's nature to be a hunter. And so he might not know exactly what it is he's feeling, but he's thinking something's weird. What's going on? You know,
Right.
why is she trying to control the outcome? Like, is, you know, does, you know, nobody else want her? You know, it's a lot of things that goes through their head. So, you know, like I said,
Agree.
mm-hmm,
Agree. Or even like I think about again, like I think about my own personal situation. What creates intimacy too is letting a person in. So I know a lot of females, what they tend to do, they don't want to look needy. So they say their man would want to even do something for them or ask to do something for them, and the woman is constantly saying no, and they're putting up that masculine energy like, no, I got it, I got
mm-hmm,
it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They don't understand that they're ruining also even that chance for closeness, for intimacy, because when you allow somebody to do something for you, you're also letting them in to let them know that I need you, I want you. A
mm-hmm,
lot of women don't tend to understand that either, that
yeah,
there's a balance to that too. And I think that's also a part of you also can be putting out there like masculine energy that's just too much,
yeah,
and you're thinking you look strong, and you look strong, but if that man feels that he's not needed in the relationship like that, then some men do get turned off by that. They probably can't put their finger on it like you kind of were just saying, but some of them do kind of get turned off by that as
yeah.
well. Just a woman putting out too much of that masculine and feminine energy, a masculine energy. I'm sorry.
Definitely, I agree. Um, you know, like you said, it takes away from the connection. And, you know, men love to make their women happy. And if they do for you and you're not appreciative, or they try to do for you, it's like, what does she need me here for then? You know, she's got it herself. She doesn't need me here, you know? And I think a lot of women put up walls, what they call so-called boundaries,
Yeah.
and it doesn't allow love to get in. So what I would say to the ladies, if you have men around or your man and he wants to help you, allow him to. Don't feel bad and don't feel like you need to give back. And, you know, when you show your gratitude for that, he'll want to do more. You know, he'll feel needed in a healthier way. You know, and he'll want to step up more to see you smile, to see you happy. Okay, so don't take away from
Right.
that. And, you know, another thing as well, why a lot of women don't know how to receive is because they don't trust. And it goes back to they don't trust that they're enough. They don't trust that they're
Right.
worth it to receive from a man. Okay.
Right.
And so,
Right.
yeah, so you have to just trust that you're enough and allow the man to be a man. He knows you have it. He knows you got it on your own, but he wants to help you. So let him help you.
How does a woman identify the fact that she doesn't trust that she is enough? Because a lot of masculine, a lot of alpha women would feel like they do feel like, you know what I'm saying, they have a certain amount of trust, but is it, how would they identify that?
Mm-hmm. A lot of women that have these trust issues, um, they have a lot of inner wounds. Okay. They've been through a lot of things in their childhood. Okay. They put up a lot of them put up these fake walls, or like I said, boundaries, and they're scared to let somebody in because they're scared to get hurt. It goes back to the trust issues. Okay. Another way that you can identify it, you know, you got to take a look at your relationship patterns as well. Um, you know, if you're out there self-sabotaging a lot of relationships, it could be, you know, your inner wounds, trust issues, insecurities, jealousy, anything, you know.
Right.
You have to take a look at your pattern. And that's why I tell women, don't focus on what the men are doing so much. I mean, observe their actions, of course, because their actions will tell you everything you need to know. But, you know, just put the focus on you. If you see a pattern of unhealthy relationships, focus on working on your issues and energy is powerful. Either your man or other men will step up and meet you at that level once you vibrate higher. If they don't, you'll be so turned off that you'll be able to walk away without drama, and you'll find somebody better.
Right. And that's definitely the level I think every woman that's seeking a healthy balance is aspiring to get to.
Yeah, definitely.
Got you. So let me ask you this. So you say you want to talk about breakups and attracting love. So as far as the breakup piece, like say if you a woman is in a was in a relationship with a man, and then she realizes that maybe she was a part of the issues. Yeah, he had his issues, but she realized she also came with issues after probably doing some inner work and realizing she did have some trauma and baggage that she brought into that relationship that maybe escalated this man to act in a certain way. What advice would you give to a woman like that?
What I would tell a woman that is going through a breakup, I say look back and observe the breakup as much as you can remember, and observe the relationship pattern. Okay. Like I said, don't put the focus on him, put the focus on you. If you have issues keeping a man or attracting a man, 9 times out of 10, the issue is you. Okay. So you have to go within. Like I said, people respond to your energy, because I have seen cases and heard of cases where a man has been in a relationship with a woman who was so toxic, but then he left her and went to another woman who was more in tune and in touch with her feminine energy and more healed, and they've gotten married or they're in a healthier relationship. So he responded to her energy differently. Okay.
Right.
So just don't dwell on it, but just kind of look back and make a mental note so you can see the things that you need to work on. If it's a fresh breakup, I know that you do have a strong chance, if you want the guy back, of rekindling the relationship. But you have to, if you're doing anything to make it worse, if you're chasing him, if you're hounding him and you won't leave him alone, if you're sitting there stuck, constantly thinking about him, not moving on with your life, that is not going to be the way that you get him back. If you want to get him back, you need to focus on you, work on your issues that caused the breakup, and you do not sit around waiting for him. You need to, and you must be open to other men. That is attractive energy, not a woman who sits around and, sits in pity and constantly thinks about a man as if he's like the only man out here on the earth. That's not attractive, and that's not high value. So what I've learned is that if you want the relationship back and you both are still in touch, like I said, energy is everything. You need to lean back. You need to work on fixing your issues, and you need to spread your energy to other men. Once you spread your energy to other men, he will feel it and he will come back if it's meant to be. And if he still has love for you, like I said, you just have to put the focus on you. I've seen so many women heal their relationships, get their ex back, prevent a divorce when it was about to go down. And I'm an example. I stopped talking to my boyfriend for like 5 months. I was blocked from every single thing. Okay. And we're back together, and we've been back together for a while now. So what I've learned and what I'm teaching right now, it works. Okay. It works. You just have to just put the focus on you. Worry about you and do what you need to do.
What advice would you give to somebody to put the focus on themselves, as far as besides, of course, get out there, talk to other people, but what other advice would you give for somebody to focus on themselves?
It comes down to self-love. Okay. you have to nurture yourself and love yourself before anybody. When I first heard that, I was like, that is so selfish. But you know what? It's not. Like I said, that's self-love. Because, you know, men are going to take care of themselves. And so you're going to have to meet them there and match them and take care of yourself. Okay. You know, do things that make you happy. Like you said earlier, creation. Feminine energy is all about creation. Get creative. You know, do things that make you happy. Do things that make you feel good. Speak kindly to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Take that energy that you would give to a man that you love, or take that same energy and put it back to you, you know, and it all goes back to leaning back. When I first heard the concept, I thought it was just not calling a man, not pursuing him. It's more to that. It's about taking your energy off of him. Okay. So it's like, when he's not around you, you're not constantly thinking about this man to where
Right.
he fills up your whole day. You know, you have to spread your energy to other things, or he's going to feel it, or you might be waiting for a phone call or a text, and it's going to feel like it's taking forever for him to do it. But notice how once you finally get to that stage where you let go and you just live, you'll be shocked. You'll see a text from him or a phone call, because everything is about energy. So just take care of you, you know, do things that make you feel good and that make you happy.
Got you. Okay, awesome. So let me ask you another question. So what would you say is the hardest lesson you have learned while in relationships, and how do you apply it in your relationships today?
Wow. The hardest thing for me was being reactive and arguing. Okay. Because like I said, I was stuck in my masculine. If a guy didn't do what I wanted him to do, he was every name in the book from A to Z. Okay. It was everything. Okay. And it was terrible. And so, you know, now me and my boyfriend, we don't argue. Like I had told a lady not too long ago that told me, you know, arguments are healthy. I said, no, sweetheart, if you think arguments are healthy, you have a lot of inner work to do. I mean, disagreements we have, but arguing is not going to get your point across. And it's all about trying to get your point across and trying to prove who's right or wrong. And that's not going to build a connection. It's going to damage it. Okay, because you can't get your point across when you're both screaming at each other.
Right.
So the hardest thing for me was the arguing and being reactive, and having to observe myself when I felt triggered or when I was about to react. And what I learned from that is to just take a step back and observe. And, you know, even though I did inner work, it doesn't mean that I don't still get angry. It's just that I have learned to observe my triggers, to work on them, to work around them, to not react to them, and to step back and look at things from my boyfriend's perspective and realize that, you know, it's not about being right or wrong. You know, it's about each of us being a individual and having different opinions. And I respect that, and he respects that about me as well.
Awesome. That is awesome advice. Okay, now let me ask you this now. So you being a coach, like what do you have any new projects that you're working on that you would like to share with the audience?
Sure, thank you. Right now I'm currently working on a book. Okay. I'm working on a book that's going to talk about polarity in relationships. Okay. Feminine and masculine energy. Also, I am going to be doing podcasts as well, and working on some courses for women to be able to heal, and, you know, to be able to attract love, and to be able to awaken, you know, that feminine goddess and that goddess energy that's in them, because we all have it, you know. Some of us just it's just dormant, but it's there, you know, it's waiting to shine. You know, feminine energy is very healing. It's very healing to our men, and it's very healing to the world. So.
Definitely. Okay, so and then tell everybody where they can find you now because you do coaching now. So where can people find you now on all of your social media channels?
Okay. On Facebook, I go by the name of Good Vibes. Okay. On Instagram, I am called The Feminine Boutique. Okay. And I also have a website, okay, which is www.thefeminineboutique.com.
Okay, awesome. And I will have all of that information in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on again, Tasha. The conversation was amazing. And until next time.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on as well.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. If you liked this podcast, please download and subscribe. If there's anything you would like to talk about in regards to relationships, or would like to be a guest on the show to speak on relationships or get advice, you can always connect via social media at Playing for Keeps or email DJ at info@p4kdating.com. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.